Hey everyone, welcome into round 51 of the Hop. Gabe and Stephen are back. We are here. We are pivoting this week from our plans.
Woo! Hard pivot, baby. Hard pivot.
But that's okay because we got a great episode coming your way. We're going to New York, upstate New York.
We're going back to New York. We're doing Newburgh Brewing Company. They have some really dope beers, some English-inspired, some collabs, some dope artwork on the can. Hey, Steven.
Hey, Gabriel.
Oh, let's grab a drink.
So, yeah, we're doing a little pivot this week. We had a full episode planned. We were excited about it, and then there was a little bit of a potential exposure situation, and we're being safe, we're being cautious, we're doing the smart thing.
COVID's a bitch. There, I said it.
COVID can sharply go fuck itself, but in the meantime,
we did have to change some things up and be cautious today. We also got very humbled in the beer we were going to get because we were going to go in one direction, and all of the beer stores in both of our areas said LOL, no. So
I'm just going to tell the people we're fully planning to do the ugly sweater pack of Bud Light Seltzer. It was going to be the first seltzer to be on the show. We were going to do a whole thing. We were dreading it. We even mentioned it at the end of last episode.
Yep.
And it turns out y'all motherfuckers really like that thing and we can't buy it.
Everybody in America bought it. And so, like I said, all of the stores in our area didn't have it, ran out, sold out.
I have never worked so hard to go find something I really did not want to drink at all.
Yeah, literally, though, the phone calls we each had to make, and they were like, what are you looking for? And we were like, Bud Light Seltzer. They were like, I'm sorry, I can't hear this. They're Bud Light Seltzer.
And every time, we fully were recognizing how hard we would judge those people if they called us. And, we're on the other end of the phone. But I mean, must have visited 5 or 6 liquor stores in the Connecticut area and called at least 10. Just a swing and a miss.
Anywho, I'm not mad about it.
But you know what? It's all good because in the end, it led us to a brewery that we had waiting in the wings, and we're super excited to feature today. So it's all good. You can follow the show at the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. That's a great place to check out pictures of the beers we drink, check out the social content we put out, check out fun videos, and different things that we produce from time to time. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube and subscribe to us there. And once you've done that, you can click the bell so that you get notified whenever a new episode drops. It will be there in your feed every Thursday. Most importantly, rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, especially on Apple Podcasts. It is really helpful. It helps us help you. It makes the show better. It also helps us get the word out about the show. We want more people to join us every week for our rounds of incredible drinking. So be sure to do that if you haven't done so already. If you have, thanks.
And if you haven't, get on it. Let us know what breweries we should hit up next. Let us know what breweries we should repeat. Let us know if you were able to get your hands on the Bud Light Ugly Sweater. DM us a photo and we'll give you a shout out to make ourselves feel better.
Exactly.
At least our fans are drinking it,
At least
right?
someone's drinking it, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's get into the news.
Beer news.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Starting off with the news and notes around the beer world. Speaking of seltzer, there was a competition by Brewbound. It was a pitch slam competition, and the winner this year was the Lunar Hard Seltzer. Now, they are an up-and-coming hard seltzer brand that are focused on Asian fruit flavors in their creations. And they, like I said, they have won the edition of the Brewbound's Pitch Slam competition, which was presented by Anheuser-Busch's InBev's Brewer Collective Craft Division. They are a New York-based hard seltzer brand. They won the 12th edition. That was, of course, online. And they were judged by a complete panel of industry experts. The competition is presented by Brewers Collective. It was focusing in encouraging entrepreneurship and building awareness for startups within the beer, cider, hard seltzer, alcoholic kombucha, and canned cocktail segments. Now, Lunar Hard Seltzer, as the winners get $10,000 in digital advertising package courtesy of brewbound.com. Multiple opportunities to connect with craft founders, state-of-the-art resources to support their growth, and they get lab testing and quality assurance support through Elevate QA, which is a new initiative launched by Brewers Collective. So shout out to Lunar Hard Seltzer. Apparently they have some good offerings.
Good job with their Asian. Have we talked about them on the show before? I feel like we have.
They sound very familiar, yeah, but
I remember the yuzu flavor coming
right,
up.
Yeah, the Asian fruit flavors definitely caught our eye. So, yeah, we've definitely mentioned them before.
Moving on, California's independent beer wholesalers have launched a new association. We don't often talk about beer distribution here on The Hop, but this seemed newsworthy. There was a whole lot of drama in terms of beer wholesaling in California this summer. There were apparently a lot of terminations of a handful of sort of larger beer suppliers, Anheuser-Busch wholesalers and things like that in California by the CBBD, which is the California Beer and Beverage Distributors. And so in response to that, the CFBD was formed. This is the California Family Beer Distributors. The new group finalizes this sort of splintering that, as I mentioned, has been happening all summer. From the newly formed website, the company, the CFBD, says, "We are independent, family-owned beer distributors based in California, working to promote a fair and equitable system to protect family businesses' ability to provide consumer variety and access to market for all." They formed it, they say, to protect the family-owned member companies, of which many have joined, from forced consolidation leading to what they see as monopolies in the beer industry. They're also looking to advocate for and create a fair regulatory environment that protects consumers, distributors, and retailers from unfair practices. That is a lot of verbiage. What does it mean for you, the beer drinker in California? Probably not a whole lot, but who knows? Maybe you'll see more beer, especially larger beer, being distributed to more places. There will be more competition. Competition never seems to be a bad thing in the market. So
not for the consumers anyway.
Good to be aware of, and it's definitely some news breaking in the California beer industry. So there you go.
Ariba. Molson Coors Beverage Company is further solidifying their relationship with LA Libations by investing in non-alcoholic selection. They are investing in Ariba, which is a brand of michelada mixers operated by the California-based incubator. The partnership will place Ariba into Molson Coors' distribution network with a focus on growing the brand in mostly California and the Texas markets. Ariba is cocktail mixers, non-alcoholic. They've apparently been blown up in California a little bit. They include flavors of shrimp and sea salt, clam and sea salt, spicy versions of each, and spicy vegan mango. They've been known to be great for cocktails and great for, eating seafood. I've seen a lot of photos online.
Oh my God.
Ew.
Steven's not into it. Not into it at all. Hey, apparently it's good though. I've seen a lot of photos online. People have the cocktail juice and they've got the shrimps out of it. So I don't know. It's been.
You said shrimp and sea salt, and I'm picturing cocktails, and it's just not. Listen, I know some people love the Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Steven don't. It's just I'm not into tomatoes, and I'm not into tomato juice, and I'm not into it even if you put alcohol in it. But yeah, clam and sea salt, spicy vegan mango.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm the same way. I'm not really into the whole Bloody Mary cocktail thing either. But it did seem really cool to talk about Molson Coors getting invested in other things. And for those of you who are interested, they use organic tomatoes. They use less sodium than their competitors, and they have no high fructose corn syrup, no MSG, no.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
What's funny is I knew you were going to play that, but I tried to roll through. I was like, maybe you won't do it. He did. He thought how rude of me to think you'd miss an opportunity.
We're talking about Molson Coors.
No food coloring, no preservatives. Great for cocktails. Look out for those selections. Steven's not a fan, but that's okay.
Finally, this week in hell. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Gordon Ramsay, who is my hero and my spirit animal, he's getting into the Seltzer game. Listen, I don't know why we talk about Seltzer every week. You don't know why we talk about Seltzer every week. I get it, but it's just Seltzer is newsworthy right now, and when Gordon Ramsay gets involved, we have to bring it up.
Gordon Ramsay can make pretty much any alcoholic drink, and we'd probably talk about it.
So Gordon teamed with Brew Pipeline and the Global Beers of London to create 4 hard seltzers for the initial launch of this brand, which will be in early 2021. It's called Hell's Seltzer, appropriately. Hell's Seltzer, quote, features unapologetically bold flavors with premium drinkability, crafted by Gordon Ramsay. Each recipe is inspired by popular menu items from Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen's restaurants across the United States. Flavors include Berry Inferno, with notes of peach, blueberry, and raspberry. Knicker Twist, with notes of passion fruit, pineapple, and orange. Mean Green, with notes of kiwi, lime, mint, and pineapple. And That's Forked, with key lime, vanilla, and graham.
That's forked.
That's forked.
That sounds like him.
You can hear him yelling at it at like some. The lamb is forked, David.
You donut. Oh my God, this is incredible. This might be a seltzer that I could probably get behind. This sounds incredible. Oh, he's the man.
They're coming in at 5.5% ABV, and they sound actually like some of the best seltzer flavors I've ever heard. So
literally,
check it out early next year.
Berry Inferno, peach, blueberry, and raspberry. Okay, all right, damn.
Early next year. Coming in hot.
I have a fun little toast, and for the first time ever, I think, I'm going to ask for the one you always do. I don't even know what to call it.
Though we call it classical.
Sure, why not? Beethoven. So, the first beer we're drinking is English inspired, which inspired me to go in that direction. So, here's a fun little English toast. Let's drink the liquid of amber so bright. Let's drink the liquid with foam snowy white. Let's drink the liquid that brings all good cheer. Oh, where's the drink like old-fashioned beer? Come hither, me lads, with your tankards of ale, and drink to the present before it shall fail. Pile each on your platter a mountain of beef, for 'tis eating and drinking that brings us relief. So fill up your glass, for life will soon pass. When you're dead, you'll never drink to your king or your lass.
Whoa, he dusted off the old Cockney accent there.
I don't even know what that was. I tried to go standard. It just pivoted. It's been a while, whatever. Here we are.
It took a turn in the middle, but that's okay. Newburgh Brewing out of Newburgh, New York. Now, Newburgh, New York is sort of upstate New York-ish. It's like near-ish to New York City. It's not that far removed, really.
Hudson Valley.
Yeah. This brewery, just off the bat, and we'll get into this later, but like, I don't think I've seen a brewery with as crazy and creative a lineup of beers as what they have in their arsenal. I mean, my jaw was dropped. So
they got a lot of stuff, all different. Like they had, it's like every brewery has their IPA, they've got like their list. They've got all of those.
They got all of it. But we're kicking things off with their brown ale, which I'm just really into the brown ale style right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good style. So it's what they refer to as a smooth and rich session ale, which makes sense. It's part of their year-round lineup. ABV-wise, it comes in at 4.2%. We have 25 IBUs in there. Beer Advocate has it at 88. Untapped has it at 3.53. And in terms of the SRM chart, I would say it's around a 37, 38. It's not a solid black.
It's very dark, but it's definitely, I mean, I would hope so, but it's definitely brown.
Tis a brown ale, as advertised.
Thank God.
So from the can, they say, in the south of England, they prefer their brown ale maltier and lower in alcohol. That's just going to keep happening.
See? That's where the toast came from.
Here in Newburgh, we tend to agree. Verging on black, this beer pours with a light tan head and beautiful ruby highlights in the glass. Light malty sweetness and gentle hints of chocolate and coffee. It's very sessionable, nice 4.2% ABV, and medium to light body. Begs for an evening by the fire at your local pub.
Which makes perfect sense that nowadays we'd be drinking the brown ale because it's cold out and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I would love to be by a fire and drinking this.
Yeah, so the idea here is, like they said, maltier, definitely focus more on the cereal, the grain, all that kind of stuff, and very low ABV. I would say 4.2% is around the lowest ABV of pretty much any brown ale I've had. It's very low, which is the point.
I know when I first poured it, definitely had that head retention, the tan head, with it just sitting in the glass for just a few minutes. That's completely gone. Got a ring around the glass, but that's about it. Not a lot of stickiness, not a lot of lacing along the sides.
No, pretty clean. Yeah. I agree. I got like a ring of just tannish foam around the glass. On the nose, malt front and center, baby.
Indeed. Espresso, coffee, toffee. It's a little nutty. It's little bit of chocolate, not as much as I thought there'd be. There's more like I feel like I'm in like a coffee shop and it's like, fresh made espresso and they pour it in, the top of your drink of choice or whatever, you know what I mean? But definitely that it's strong off the nose.
Yeah, cold brew coffee comes through for me. I get some mocha. I get some caramel. There is a nice sweetness in there. I get a little bit of like fruit too. A little bit of like, I always associate, I guess, raspberry or maybe cherry, something that like I always associate like a chocolate covered fruit type thing.
Yeah, I would agree with, I'm getting cherry from me. And it's interesting because like I feel like brown ales and stouts are very similar and they could have the same notes, but at the end of the day, they're just completely different beers.
Yeah, and what you're working with here is something that is sweeter than like a stout or a porter because the body is just lighter. I mean, it's an ale, and obviously there's differences in the way it's brewed, but I just find these to be sweeter and lighter and easier to drink. Definitely lighter feel in the mouth and lighter feel going down. A porter or a stout is just a heavier beer.
Yeah.
Than this.
4.2%. I mean, I would hope so.
Well,
all right. Well, here goes nothing. Very, very light. Very, very light. That 4.2% is that's 100% accurate. I'm getting a lot of the coffee and espresso. What's surprising to me is the bitterness in the back end. I feel like I'm getting a lot more bitterness than I thought I would. I think because we talked about how light it was and the flavors and everything that went into it. But in the back end, it's just very like, you know, when you drink like hot coffee and you get like coffee breath. And that sounds a lot more negative than I want it to be. You know what I mean? It's just the aftertaste of coffee, I think, is the best way to describe it for me. But like beer form, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What struck me first and foremost, I would say, is how chocolatey it was. I really wasn't expecting that much chocolate right up front because it's not as there on the nose, but it really was chocolate. It was not coffee in the mouth as much to me. It was chocolate, a little bit of vanilla, definitely on the sweeter side, the mocha side. In terms of the mouthfeel, I completely agree. It's very light bodied. There's almost no alcohol in this, like literally, but like in the flavor, I mean, just, you can't, it tastes like coffee. Honestly, if you put this in like a cup with some ice cubes, I'd be like, oh, what a weird iced coffee.
Well, there's a little bit of carbonation. You drink 3 cups of it and then you're wasted.
But and I just said that it didn't taste so coffee-y in the mouth, but what it is it's sort of watery. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's light like that. And so when you look at it and when you smell it, I think your brain, or my brain at least, automatically goes, oh, Guinness, rich, chocolate, all those things. And then you drink it and you're like, oh no, it's a lighter experience than that. You know what I mean?
I would agree 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's on the spectrum of dark beers. I mean, this is pretty far away, I would say, from Guinness. But yeah, it's got a little bit of that wateryness to it. I do get chocolate, but I think, I don't know if I'm getting as much chocolate as you are, to be honest.
It just was the first thing in my mouth, which surprised me a little bit because I was expecting more of the sweet up front, but it was like a bitter chocolate thing. And when I swallowed it, that stayed. It didn't really turn into a supremely coffee-y, roasty-y thing. It just was clean chocolate, like dark chocolate or something.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't milk chocolate. It was just a cleaner flavor than that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Would you consider this smooth or rich? Because I would consider it one of those things. I would consider it smooth. I don't know if I would call this rich.
Yeah, because they called it a smooth and rich session ale, right? I would agree with that. I think I would call it, I would call it smooth, not very rich. It's just, it's a light drinking beer.
Yeah.
Which I kind of love, you know what I mean? Like I think for like sitting by the fire, like this is great, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially if you're looking for something to not knock you over. Like if you want to remember the night, you'll grab one of these, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You'll wake up in the morning like, did we drink last night? I don't even think we did. Feel refreshed.
Feel ready to go.
Just had a cup of coffee.
Let's go make a snowman.
Pour me another one. Yeah. And in the back end, it leaves your mouth pretty clean. You were saying that kind of lingering coffeeness. I agree with that. It's sort of that lingering like coffee breath or coffee mouth or whatever, just on the back of your palate. But it's fairly clean. It's fairly light carbonated. All in all, I would say this beer is not going to change any lives.
No. But
it's exactly what they said it was going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it will warm you up by the fire. In when it's snowing outside and you don't feel like going outside and you want to stay in. I mean, this is very solid, and I think it's more toward the people that want the beer without the drunkenness. Like, you have 1 or 2 of these and you'll be all right.
You'll be A-OK. And it's got little toy tin soldiers on the can.
Yeah, can we talk about the can art real quick?
Maybe those are real soldiers. You think those are tin soldiers? I immediately went Christmas toy soldier, but now I'm realizing those just might be real soldiers.
I mean, they look very cartoonish with their mustaches and their heart-shaped eye patches, so...
It's not just me then. All right.
Yeah. The can art is very interesting. It's very busy, but I like it. You know, it's got the name and pictures on the gram, obviously. But it's just got a lot to it. It's very like Pinteresty. That sounds weird, but you know, like just a lot of like a collage. There we go. Collage.
It's Pinteresty.
It's Pinteresty.
I see what you mean though. There's it's like a a mood board for the beer.
Yeah, exactly. It's very like, you know, all your thoughts and ideas in one location.
Pictures of the brewery, words, just random words here and there. Like they got a little heart, and half the heart looks like a beer foaming over. I'm into that little picture.
Yeah, that's their like go-to logo. They have t-shirts and I really want one.
So they officially opened in 2012, and since opening, they've brewed over 70 styles of beer. Their head brewer, their brewmaster, his name is Christopher Basso, who is a founder of the company as well. And he's responsible for the work. He went to the French Culinary Institute, I believe, and Boston University or Boston Conservatory. I think it's Boston University. So he's got a culinary background, and he's, of course, big into the food, the flavors, as you would hope for somebody brewing your beer. And his beers have won plenty of awards, including our favorite beer festival, the Gab.
The Gab.
They got, and like, take a look at our Instagram and just check out the can art, because it's kind of hard to miss them. Like, I've had them in New York before, so even when we were looking for this beer and I was in Connecticut and I went, can Gabe get this in New York? And I instantly was like, yeah, because I knew the can. It's on our can wall.
Yeah, and I have one of the other beers that I drank, you know, years ago. But what's cool about Christopher is he's responsible, of the 70 styles they've been brewing, he's responsible for 50 of them. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe 2 out of the 3 beers we're featuring today, he's been the go-to guy for them. So thank you, Christopher.
Newburgh is a factory town, I guess you would call it. It's like it's a working sort of blue collar town outside of New York City in the Hudson Valley area. Yeah. And that's part of the history of their brewery. I mean, if you just look at the pictures of their brewery, it looks like an old factory. That's what it looks like.
It's enormous too. It's huge.
They say right on their website, we honor the natural goodness of our ingredients by working hard to make them shine through every sip. We honor the rich history of Newburgh, a tough-minded town that's still as hard scrabble. Great word choice, guys.
Oh, love it.
As it was when General G.W., George Washington, stationed his army here more than 200 years ago and sang delightful rap music, because I get all my history from Hamilton.
Doesn't everyone? Yeah, I mean, it's a really great spot. You know, the owner's the other owner and founder is Paul Halako. Sure. They chose Newburgh because not only were they from the area, but it was also very affordable. They've been quoted saying, you know, we can get a larger space for a third of the price where you would find in like the Bronx or Queens or New York City. So it made sense for them perfectly. They're operating out of like we mentioned, very large facility. It's you know, just like a giant cathedral almost, but it looks like a giant factory.
Yeah.
And it's been working for them really well, and they've been able to churn out beer after beer.
They are currently distributing their beer, obviously, to New York City and state, as well as Connecticut, also northern New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. So that's where they are at the moment. Always expanding, but if you live in those areas, you can get their beer. If you don't, you can go to New York or one of those states.
You can come visit. We can kick it, and we can go get one of their beers.
14-day quarantine.
Another awesome thing that I want to mention real quickly is they are a big believer in supporting local businesses and going local with all of their things. all of the outside vendors that they use are locally based in Newburgh or in the Hudson Valley area. They have t-shirts that come from American Icon Screen Printing, which is one of their top-notch screen printing shops that's literally down the road from them. They say it's like literally 3 minutes away. Their food menu, all the ingredients come from local vendors or farms. They're a big believer in giving back to the community because the community has supported them so much, and so they're a big believer in that, and that's always awesome to see.
That's what we like to see, man. That's the game we're in, right? Is a small local run sort of local business that's just part of their community, which they definitely are.
That's that shit I do like. Final thoughts on the brown?
Excellent choice if you want a light drinker to just sort of kick it, or if you're it's a holiday maybe, and I always have trouble at the holidays because it's like people start drinking at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it, but it's like you can't kick off your day with like a double IPA. I mean, you'll be hammered before that ham hits the table. You know what I mean?
Pass the mashed potatoes.
you gotta temper that shit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This is great for that. Great for drinking by the fire. And just, I think that it can sometimes be hard to find beers that are sort of in the session IPA world, but aren't a session IPA. I don't tend to like session IPAs very much myself. I think that they always let me down because I'm looking for more flavor than a session IPA can possibly provide.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
This doesn't let you down on flavor. I know I said it's a little watery, and I just mean that it's lighter than you might be thinking of in terms of a stout or a porter, but it doesn't let you down on flavor, and it doesn't leave you, I don't know, maybe it's just because I haven't eaten much today. I don't want to say I'm buzzed, but like I don't feel let down by this.
Oh no.
I'm not buzzed, but I'm not like let down by it.
We got 2 more beers we're each drinking separately. Yours is hefty, mine is not, but yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think it's, if you like the lower alcohol content, if you like the darker beers, if you like the coffee, toffee, espresso, if you like that specific category of flavor, get this 100%. And if you live on the West Coast,
sorry,
we'll send you some. Send us Bud Light Ugly Sweater. We'll send you this.
If you live on the West Coast, you have a hard time finding brown ales anyway, so they're used to it. Well, we have these other beers, so let's dive into more of what Newburgh has to offer.
5, 6, 7, 8, Patty. All right, here I go. I've got the cream ale. It has been quoted a perfect blend of malt and hops. We'll see. This is another year-round selection, also coming in at 4.2% ABV, 30 IBUs on the SRM chart. Pale straw yellow, very see-through, very, very light. I'm going to say maybe a 3 or a 4, depending on.
That's like the lightest beer I've ever seen in my life.
I know. It's very like, this might be even closer to like 1 or 2. Let's be real. But yeah, that's what it is.
Honestly, it looks like a 1 from here, which is, it looks like a seltzer.
It's, oh boy. This is the Lunar. I'm drinking the Lunar Seltzer that won the competition. Beer Advocate gives it an 84. Untappd gives it a 3.39. The note from the brewery says, our interpretation of a New York original, originally brewed by ale breweries to compete with the surging popularity of lager beer, it remains a regional specialty in the Northeast United States. Our version is light-bodied and pale straw color, correct, but uses no corn or rice as many of the original versions did. The result is a supremely malty and refreshing version of a style dear to our hearts. Oh boy, I'm ready. No head retention at all. Not a lot of lacing. I filled it up a little too high, so I'll get back to you about that. On the nose, it's got a little bit of that grassy hopness to it, a little biscuity and malty. I'm getting some citrus. I'm getting a lot of lemon.
Would you say it's a perfect blend of malt and hops?
On the nose, yes. We'll see what the taste is like. I know a lot of people will agree with me on the lemon characteristic. any review I read with lemon, and I would agree. I can't tell if I'm smelling banana as well, or if it's just a mix of the lemon and maltiness. It might be a mix of just like lemon and biscuity malt.
It could be two things.
But yeah, it's got a little bit of that citrus in it, but it's not like, there's no orange, there's no like grapefruit. It's just straight lemon. It's straight hay. I mean, this is, and when you look at it, you can just tell. So here I go.
The cream ale style is an interesting one. Not one I think we've really had on the show that much. Maybe we've had it once or twice.
Once or twice, maybe.
It's a style that is obviously brewed as an ale, as you can tell from the name, but it is really spawned from the American lager. I mean, it's spawned from what you would think of like a Bud Light, to be honest. It's sometimes finished with lager yeast or even a lot of some lager beer mixed into it. It's just sort of a blend of styles between German lagers and English ales. So it fits into that sort of lighter beer category.
And you know what's funny? It tastes like a lager. It really does. It tastes exactly what you were describing. I'm not getting a lot of creaminess at all. It's slightly crisp. It's got the medium body to it. Now that I've taken a couple sips, I can tell you not a lot of lacing at all, not a lot of stickiness. But yeah, it's got that grassiness. It's got a little bit of that lemon, but lemon on the smell, lemon zest on the taste. It's got those strong malts. It follows the nose pretty well, but yeah, I mean, blind taste test, I wouldn't call this a cream ale, which is interesting. It's very, very lager friendly, if you will.
Blind taste test, what would you say you're drinking then? Like if I put that in front of you, would you be like, oh, it's a Bud Light?
No, I wouldn't say Bud Light, but okay. I would definitely say, I would be like, okay, it's craft something. I don't know. I would say definitely East Coast something, but yeah, very, very biscuit, malty, herbal, little bit of grassiness, lemon. It's crisp going down, not a lot of back end bitterness taste at all, which is refreshing. I do enjoy it. It's good. Not what I thought it was going to be. Very, very light. Another one, it's kind of like the brown ale. If you're looking for the flavor and for something to sip on and not feel like super like, wasted, definitely go in this direction. I think I like the brown ale a little more, but I do enjoy this. And I think it's a complete 180.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cream. I don't know if I'd call it a cream ale, but what do I know? I don't work at the brewery.
Yeah,
so.
when I hear cream ale in my head, like I don't know if you've ever had cream soda, but that's what I imagine.
Exactly.
Is that sweet sort of vanilla, lots of like very sweet flavors, sweet fruit, all that kind of stuff. And that's not what a cream ale is.
That like fluffy.
Yeah. You imagine whipped cream or something.
Yeah, literally. That's kind of what I thought, at least a little bit of what I'd be getting into, and this is not like that at all. So if you're looking for a cream soda,
go get a cream soda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just go get a cream soda. But I mean, if you're looking for the light, flavorful, easy drinking go-to, then this and the brown ale, I would say. But out of the two, I think I like the brown ale just a little bit more.
So I have for mine their Boss series Mad Fat, which is a gin inspired New England IPA. And first of all, shout out to the can art. As always, we got a little robot on there holding a sign that says Mad Fat.
Mad Fat.
This is part of a collaboration series that they call Newburgh and Friends. And it is a collaboration with Interboro Spirits Ales. Back in 2019, they did collaborations with a bunch of breweries, Industrial Arts, Interboro, KCBC, Sloop, Peekskill Brewing, Alewife Brewing, and probably my personal favorite, Rushing Duck Brewing.
Nice.
Put that on the calendar.
Yeah,
us, please.
For real.
But this is one that they did with Interboro, and it was back in 2019, so that's just a full disclosure situation because the beer might be a little old. But you know what? It's an IPA, so who knows? But take that into account.
I hope you taste gin in this.
That's the thing. I had to pick it up because despite the date it was brewed, I've just never seen a gin-inspired New England IPA. So they say it's inspired New England IPA with juniper, coriander, and lemon peel. Bright citrus and lemon hop flavors combined with gentle notes reminiscent of a gin cocktail. And from the can, the haze craze collides with gin to create Boss Mad Fat, a New England IPA inspired by Interboro's delicious gin, brewed with juniper and coriander, all the stuff I just said to you. It is 7% ABV, so maybe a little lighter than you might think when you hear gin-inspired New England IPA, but it's a solid 7%. IBUs, we have about 15 in there. On the SRM chart, I would put it around a 9-ish, maybe an 8. It's on the lighter side.
From my perspective, it looks dark yellow.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's sort of golden. Beer Advocate doesn't have a rating for it. Untapped has it at 3.85. It's got a decent bit of lacing. That's what I would say caught my eye right away. Good bit of ivory foam. Decent retention. Stuck around for a while. Has receded, but the lacing is very clear. True to the style, it is hazy. Very hazy. And here we go.
I don't know if you've ever had gin. Gin is not one of my go-to spirits. But I feel like I'd still be interested in something like this.
Okay, I have had gin, and I love gin. I did not love gin when I threw it up in high school. But I love gin in cocktails because gin has a complexity of flavor between the botanicals, all the different varieties of gin that you can get, but whether it's London Dry or something else, whether it's Hendrix. I mean, there's so many different flavors, and when you add that in a cocktail, the botanicals, the bitter notes, the florality, all the stuff that it can bring out in a cocktail is just so delicious. So I do love gin in a cocktail. I trust bartenders with gin. I don't fuck with gin myself because I'm not worthy.
Give me the gin.
On the nose, holy citrus, Batman, lemon and tangerine up front.
Oh wow,
very citrusy, fresh squeeze, mandarin orange. When you were a kid, did you ever eat those mandarin oranges that came in the cup? Sometimes they would give them out at school lunches and stuff.
I wasn't into it because it was there was water in it. I for some reason I was
weird. They're weird, but
I know what you're talking about.
They are good though, and that's what I'm getting off this mandarin orange. Do I get gin? I don't know. Do I get botanicals, earthy? Do I get the hops? Yes, for sure. A lot of spiciness. Don't get a whole lot of malt on the nose. What is there is sort of wheat, but yeah, it's a mandarin orange fest in there. I'm excited to drink this one.
It kind of looks like one too.
The gin's in the flavor, in the mouth, in the taste. It's definitely there. You get all the citrus up front. Again, for me, it's just hard mandarin orange. I know that there's lemon peel in this. I want to tell you there's some lemon peel in the flavor, but I'm really hung up on this mandarin orange thing. But in the back, and especially after you swallow it, gin, botanicals, flower, earthy, juniper berry. Those earthy flavors are definitely there. Getting some, I believe there's some Eureka hops in here. Stone fruit for sure. And the malt is present. Again, it's sort of wheat-y or bread-y, but it's pretty well balanced in the mouth. You know what I will say? I don't know, for full disclosure, if they brewed this again this year or if this really is a year old. But if they didn't brew it again this year, shout out to whoever stored it, because honestly, it's not lacking flavor at all. It's
that's
very
awesome. Good. That's what you want. And no matter how old it is, when you drink it, you want to taste it. So that's dope.
I mean, I want beer that's fresh, and I know plenty of people who would not even drink this because of the possibility of an older date, but hey, that's not our show, damn it. Tell them how you feel, Mike.
Bang! Exclamation point!
You guys thought we forgot about him. You thought we took him out of we haven't heard from him in a while.
He's been busy. You know,
He's
in the
hiding.
NBA, it's the off season, and they just started preseason. So now the NBA is back. He'll join us again.
In the mouth, this is very highly carbonated. Definitely has a zing, a bite to it. I don't think it's boozy in the mouth. I think the gin flavors are really subtle, but they are on the back end. And I think the finish is very clean. It leaves your mouth clean like a gin would, right? When you drink gin, there's not a lot of aftertaste to it. It's sort of a clean feeling. There's some lingering bitterness, some lingering florality. There is not a lot of bitterness in this because it's a New England, but it's not super juicy. And I think what I'm loving about this most of all is that it's very well documented, my sort of exhaustion with the New England IPA style. And this, because of the gin and because of the earthiness that it brings to it, it brings a balance that I feel like can be lost in some of the super juicy New England IPAs. So to that end, I think this is really well done. I think it's really interesting, creative. Interboro makes a gin, so that's where the inspiration came from for this. And
we featured them.
Yes, we did indeed on round 23. That's when it was, back when we did Barrel Aged Delights.
That's right. Yes, the barrels.
Go listen to round 23 if you haven't. That was a fun episode. But so is this one. And I love this beer, and I'll tell you right now, it's not, between this and the brown ale, it's not even a choice. I mean, I like the brown ale for what it was, but I still have more of the brown ale to drink because I wasn't done with it, and I don't know how I'm going to go from this back to that. Like, it's just that is a different world, and I have moved on. What I want to say about Newburgh, though, is that, like, first of all, they have a tap room which is open, I guess, for outdoor seating. That's all very fluid at the moment, and they do beer delivery and different stuff like that you can take a look at their website and read about. But what just struck my eye is that if you go look at their beers, they have their year rounds and they have their tap room beer, and then they have their seasonals and specialties. And I mean, just off the bat, number one that's up there, Cafe Sour, Ethiopian inspired sour beer with cold brewed Ethiopian coffee. I mean, like,
what? Yeah, exactly.
And then it goes on and
crazy.
on. I mean, they've got a beer called the Flying Purple Pilsner Eater, which is an adjunct lager brewed with Peruvian purple corn, and it looks like a raspberry smoothie. It is so hazy. It is straight up like reddish purple, and it's insane. And it just goes on and on. I mean, Berliner Weiss with strawberry. Peat smoked stout.
Pete!
That's crazy. Imperial stout with cinnamon and pomegranate juice. Niagara grapes.
They also go off of the they have a couple of their bosses. You know, like your boss, they have an Infinity Boss, which is another IPA. The other boss I saw was the New England IPA, Giga Boss, Mega Boss, Nano Boss, which is another session. Like they
got a black goza brewed with oysters. Yeah, oysters.
Wow.
I mean,
oysters.
The stuff that I see on their website is just some of the craziest, most...
So let me get this straight. When I said shrimp and sea salt, you were like, oh my God, no. But oysters, you're like, hell yeah.
Well, ease up. I didn't say I want to drink it. I said they have it. I'm admiring the creativity. I'm not saying these are all good.
We're separating the art from the artist.
Exactly. They have a goza, Imperial goza. See, this is the thing. I didn't even know until recently you could make an Imperial goza. How much ABV do you think is in an Imperial goza? Imperial.
10?
It's 7.
Oh, whoops. Jump the
there
gun.
You go. When you make it, that makes it Imperial.
Well, when you said 7, Imperial, immediately my mind goes to, okay, it's
exactly.
High.
That's why I did that, because it's a Imperial, but it's a goza. But it's got maple syrup in it. I'm just saying, like...
Fun in the sun.
I could keep going. Belgian amber with pumpkin and butternut squash. I could do this all day. There's just so many. and it's just one of the most creative, most impressive lineups of just like classic styles blended with new styles, trying new things, pushing the boundaries of creativity, and using crazy ingredients to do it. And I just think it makes me want to go to their brewery really badly.
What's great regarding delivery is you can get beer delivered and you can also get food delivered. You can get a beer and wings delivered with sauces. I mean, what are we doing here, fam? Like, I mean,
big ups for that.
Obviously, they have a specific radius and you have to be in the area. But I mean, for those of you who are near this brewery, like, good for you. We're instantly jealous because this food looks incredible, especially if the head brewer has a culinary background and he knows what the hell he's talking about and what he's doing. So, but yeah, check it out. Check out their site. They have so much to offer.
All right. Before we get out of here, we have to wrap it up. And Gabe,
you don't still have that cat national anthem, do you?
No.
Ah, damn it.
No, I don't. But
it ties in. I finally saw Cats.
And let's just lead with this. He's very late to the game. We all know this. This is early 2020 news, but I finally got him to do it.
I'm just glad I didn't pay for it. I gotta be honest with you. It's on HBO. Go watch it. We were thinking about a 30-second rant, which maybe we'll end with, but I the first thing I could think of is 30 seconds isn't long enough. The first word that came to my mind after this movie was ended. Absurd. This movie is absurd.
It's kind.
Literally, though. Like, what? I just have so many questions, and you've heard us talk about Cats before, and you may be into it, you may be not. If you're... We get it, but holy crap, I will say this. Knowing everything I knew before the movie started, like what you told me, what other friends told me, what the review said, what celebrity said, it was a fun watch strictly because I knew how bad it would be. And it really was. Like, I had fun watching just the doomsday that was this movie. And just all the things that didn't make sense and all the things that were just like, oh no, why did they go in that direction? Dame Judi Dench showed up and I thought, oh no, Judy, you don't have to do it. She's looking right at me. I didn't know what to do.
But
I
she
had
can't
more
see,
questions.
and you can somehow that makes it worse. Like, you kind of know that she's kind of blind, but she's looking down the barrel of the lens and her eyes look kind of blind. And you're like, I know she sees me, but I don't think she sees me.
But I will say, like, it. I took like I kept Snapchatting like my reactions to things, and I compiled it into like one big like group thing, and I sent it to Steven, and he had fun watching it. But like, there was just every video starts with just my jaw on the ground, like, oh my god, what is happening?
Because I've had arguments with friends about this, and you were one of them until you finally watched it, where like, people are like, look, I know it's bad. Why would I do that to myself? And it's like, no. I get it. But like, you just need to like, I don't know how to express, like, you will be a different person once you've watched the movie for the better. Like, you'll either come out having learned something. It's like an acid trip or something. Like, it's not necessarily something you enjoy going through, but it's something that you live your life better for because you did it.
At the beginning of my Snapchat reactions, the first video starts with me being like, all right, I'm into it. And I literally say, I feel like I'm taking a drug, like 100%. And I will say after the movie, I felt like I sank into the couch a little bit deeper, but there was just like so many things that didn't make sense. And we don't have time to dissect the movie, but for God's sakes, like, I think everyone should see it because, one, you know how bad it's going to be, so you'll enjoy hating on it. Like, I feel bad for the people that paid for it and went and saw it and thought it was going to be like a good movie. Like
the woman behind me who was really angry.
Yeah, when you saw it, yeah.
I will never forget walking out of that movie theater, going down all those escalators, just flight after flight, because they put it so high up into the back of that movie theater. And just thinking, and honestly, and I may have said this on the mics before, that will sadly go down as a highlight of 2020. I don't know if that speaks to that experience or how shitty this year was, but one of the two. The point is, it definitely was a memorable moment.
For real. I said, like, we should get t-shirts that say, I survived Corona and cats. Like, I just don't understand, like, okay, here's my thing. Real quick, last thought. All of the producers and the directors and the people who paid to make this movie happen sat in a room, looked at the finished product, and all collectively said, yeah, let's go ahead, release it. They okayed that.
No, come on. Someone, like most of the people in the room their reaction had to have been, all right, that'll work. Right?
Right, but that's still a yes.
Yeah, but what are they going to do at that point? The money's sunk in.
Like, I'm waiting. I just wish I could have been a fly on the wall to hear that one person go, hi, sorry, I have to say it. This is the worst what are you guys talking about?
Because there have to have been people throughout the process who were like, that's never going to work. Like, kept saying to the director, like, listen, we can't do this. And at some point he kept going, no. They're like, Tom, we can't. And he's like, no, trust me. And at some point, everyone in the room realized he was wrong. They were all right. And I just wish I was there the day it turned. Like, was it the day they filmed Rebel Wilson scratching her taint?
Oh.
Was it the day that James Corden was bouncing on that trampoline? Was it the day that all the cats were dancing on the railroad tracks and somebody said, Tom, how big are these cats supposed to be?
That's another thing. They kept changing sizes. They were miniature. They were giants. I don't know what happened.
Or was it the day someone in the cast went to someone and said, can we change the line, a cat is not a dog? And they said no. And then everyone in the room knew, all right, this is going to tank. Whatever the moment was, there had to have been a moment where everyone realized, oh, we're in too deep and we can't get out.
Why did the magician guy, Mr. Mistopheles, whatever his name is.
Mr.
Mistopheles, why did he have human hands? Everyone else had cat paws. He had human hands. He was trying to talk to the main cat. He was trying to impress her early on, but then Jason Derulo, Rum Tum Tickle Tum, came out of nowhere and said, "Nuh-uh, baby, this is mine." He's running the milk bar. I have so many thoughts.
Gabe's asking the questions we've all been asking.
If you go see this movie, do not see it sober. I was not sober. Holy crap, it made the difference in every way.
No, and there is a limit on how many times you can see it. We have one friend who's seen it too many times. And I 4. And
Jesus.
Am at the point where I've only seen it once, and I still sometimes have dreams where the music creeps in, or just every now and then I'll be in my life and I'll just start to hear musical themes from Cats just stuck in my head, and that is a dangerous place. You don't want to be there. It's that lingering. It's like, again, I mean, they say when you take acid, there's like lingering, like you'll just it's that. Honestly, that's what that movie.
And what's funny is I can back that up because obviously, for me, I've seen it recently, but a couple days after I saw it, out of nowhere, I'm not going to sing the song just to help you, but like I hear. Just
every now and then you'll be like pouring yourself a glass of milk and you'll just be like, do you see in the dark? And you're like, no, I don't.
Son of a bitch. Why is this happening to me? Why was Ian McKellen in the movie? Sir, you have...
That's what I'm saying.
You didn't have to do this. Like, that's the other thing. Like, Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, Jason Derulo, like, they were all like, we get a song, we'll be in the movie, why not? Like, I understand why they did it. I don't understand why, like, seasoned actors, Dame Judi Dench, Sir Ian McKellen, like, what do you got? You guys were free? Like, what? You don't have anything better to do?
That's what I'm saying. They had to have lost a round of golf with their agents. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I can't come up with another reason.
All right, fine, I'll do it. Shit.
And I could release a whole side podcast about the movie Cats. I mean, I could go song by song for 2 years.
The first song, the Angelical Cat song, out of nowhere, Idris Elba's character just goes, "What?" And then they go back into the chorus. What is that part of the original score? Like, what was that about?
Are you forever scarred by the image of Ian McKellen lapping milk out of a saucer?
Yes.
Because I sure am.
Yes, the sound effects.
Gandalf the Grey's tongue lap milk out of a flat saucer just will stick with me for
Here's
the end.
the thing.
To the
I
end
felt
of time.
bad for him because I was just like, that's disrespectful to him, not only the man and the actor, but just the soul of Sir Ian McKellen and everything he's done. The title. Yeah, Ian, can you just like lap up the milk? Like, he was sitting there like, this motherfucker.
The title as a Knight of England, really all of the UK was disrespected by. All right, we could do this for hours, but we do need to get out of here.
Get me out of here because I won't stop. Jesus. Thank you guys for joining us.
Another great round, Newburgh Brewing. It wasn't what we planned, but you know what? I would venture to say we had more fun than we would have doing the other thing. So it all worked out.
We were going to do Newburgh down the line. We pushed them up to now, and I'm happy we did. They're a great brewery. Check them out. Look for their offerings. Thank you guys again for joining us. We love you. Go see the movie. Don't see it sober.
Follow us on all the things, the social medias. Subscribe, rate, review. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week for round 52. Until then, stay safe, wear your masks, be well.
A cat is not a dog.